All right. We're live streaming. What's up, everybody on Instagram, YouTube? I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation, streaming to you this topic called cornering yourself to succeed. You know, I live with AZD, founder of IMC Nation, and he's a great man and top in the world at what he does. And I have the opportunity to live close and train with somebody who's number one in the world. I've done that in other subjects or, close to number one. Never have I been so close to someone who's so definitively number one at what they do. And it's a great privilege. And it's really pushed my mind. Oh, what's up with the reception here? Yeah, it should, reception should be fine. Uh, Whatever I was saying. So, pushing yourself and a sense of urgency because when you're around the top on the planet, like there's just not room for slack. You can imagine any other field if you were the top computer programmer or the top NFL player or the top politician, President Trump or something. Like if you're around that person, like, and they got there by merit, they have a certain routine of life, schedule, like it's an intensity. It may not be intense to them, but to someone else, like if you were gonna train with Usain Bolt and he's like the number one sprinter, like it may be an easy day for him, but it's like you're dying trying to keep up with him on his easy day. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of things that uh to our schedule and to our mentality, our controlling of our state of mind, really, to be able to be close with AZD in the long run, like me and some of the guys that lived with him for 4 years. And something that's helped me succeed because I'm the top guy when it comes to a lot of aspects of IMC Nation, like actually the business, the sustaining of the lifestyle, which is so related to, I mean, I don't want to make it all about business, and it's not, but that obviously fuels the lifestyle. Like you got to be able to pay for your life and give service. Like if you earn your money in doing something that you feel not that good about. Like if you love what you do, you feel very strong. And if you don't love what you do, you diminish yourself and you get depressed and even sick or whatever. Like you know. So how you make your money is so important to your state of mind and your attitude. And that's everything. Like you will create the wealth and you'll create the success and opportunities and you'll create opportunities for advantage and advancing in life with creativity and a state of mind. And if you have an elevated state of mind, you become more creative, like you're more free. And so much of what the education in IMC Nation is just mindset mastery, overcoming limitations of the mind, which are absurd. They're irrationalities. You should be completely able, like so much more able than what the normal human is. You could get into like metaphysics, like do you believe telepathy is real? Teleportation is real, instant manifestation, like that. Yeah, sure. But I'm not even talking to that level of extreme. Maybe telepathy, but you just your ability to think outside of the box. The box. I live in a four-walled house. I go into my vehicle, I stare at a computer screen. Like everything's a box. How to think out of the box. Remember the organicness, the organic nature of all things, that it's fluid. The Tao. To get out of that is, to get back into the river of life. And that's what the education here is, because our own conditioning and education and wrong ideas keep us confined. So, uh, that it's really a serious issue for the guys that are dedicated because that's what inhibits them from succeeding when they come to Vegas. A lot of guys are dedicated and they want it and they make the necessary changes in their life to come to Vegas and live in Vegas around IMC Nation. But you know, having your life in order, having a reliable source of income, having your life integrated where you've somehow made it so that your income is related to skills that you want to get better at, or just specifically your job or industry. Like you're doing what you want to do. You want to screen print shirts, then screen print shirts and be the best and fuck the rest. Or you want to be a dating coach, but you're not good enough, so then you become a club promoter and you meet people and you do that whole thing. Like getting some occupation related to what you want to be good at in life, and you may take an income hit. And then you got to be the best and fuck the rest. You just got to go for it. And how do you go for it is a sense of urgency. You corner yourself. That's what I was saying. Like you put your back against the wall. I used to say you put the wall against your back. Like you bring the wall up to your back. You don't have to necessarily retreat. Stay where you are and bring the wall up to you. Like you should have nowhere to back out to. No plan Bs. No. I mean, you have alternative strategies. So I mean, there are plan Bs, but it's not like I'm plan. If I don't succeed at this adventure in life, then I can always fall back on that. I could always fall back on that anyway. I don't have to think about it. Like write out a plan B. If I fail at this venture, I'll go on to that venture. Man, you might as well just quit both ventures. Just go get a regular 7-Eleven job while you figure out what you want to do in life. Seriously, people sit around and don't have jobs and don't know what they want to do. And it's like, get a job. And then in downtime or whatever, like you'll be motivated to look up stuff or quit the job later if you really don't like it. But you need some income and you just got to start somewhere. And getting creative, you have abilities just by having 2 arms and 2 legs and being able to speak the language. You can create jobs for yourself. Like just go around and door knock to clean up people's lawns and yards and stuff. You don't need a degree or some kind of training or apprenticing to do that. You just need to think outside of the box. So this sense of urgency, like we would call it in wrestling, or cornering yourself, as AZD would call it, like you don't want to put the animal in a corner. It becomes irrational, and really every animal, no matter how big or small, is ferocious when it's cornered. Like, unless it's completely defeated. But in the wild, you don't really have defeated animals. In humanity, you do. You got defeated animals that you corner them and they'll just cower. And it's like in the animal kingdom, it'll just, because it's going to die anyway. So activating that survival thrust in you without stressing yourself. That's the thing. You got to be able to act and not carry it with you. So it's not that I'm acting, pretending a sense of urgency, although I am. I'm creating the scenario in my mind where my sense of urgency is real and authentic, but I am creating it. I could lollygag and be lazy just like everybody. Dude, I could go live with my parents. I could eat ice cream all day and be fat. Like I am just as capable as everybody as being lazy and sleeping in and not working out and blah, blah, blah. The list goes on of inadequacies I could have. So I develop habits by creating that sense of urgency where it's just a burning desire that I want to achieve, and not achieving that is just unacceptable. It's deplorable. I hate it. And there's a whole journey with that. Of course, you don't want to attach your sense of self to external outcomes or whatever, but then you don't want to not have external outcomes if you want them just because you're working on yourself or you're on a spiritual path or something. So both, be a well-rounded man. That's why we succeed with women in relationships above and beyond everybody else, because they focus on one or the other. And it's very much more difficult to balance it and have the spiritual life, but also be succeeding materialistically, or going for it, having ambition materialistically, but not getting lost in it because you're a spiritual practitioner. You need both. And it's a much sharper razor's edge in a straight line that you're walking down to be spiritual, but driven, to be a real man, but not lustful, but a real man. And that's what this path is. You're just reclaiming your natural humanity, that you should have those abilities. It's ridiculous that you would lose yourself to lust, abandon your friends or your purpose because of a woman. But that's what was modeled for you, and you've been brainwashed to think that's romantic or something, and you're just so overcome with emotions and neediness, you've been deprived, that you're impulsive. You're like a female, you just go for it. There, you should have that sense of urgency when the guy who you know, abandons his friends and travels halfway across the country to be with a girl who promises whatever, 6 months, she'll be done with him. He'll be ruined. But that sense of drive and impulse, you should have that with your life, your business, your ventures, and your studies. And I prove it with my urgency and drive with my studies. I've positioned myself to live with the top player amongst the crew of top players in the top player city, living the life that I wanted all the way up until like 25, 26, 27. And then I'd given up on that life. And then I was searching for other things, and I came across so many different teachers and subjects, and eventually arrived at AZD, who was just a Rashdi Bazaar at the time. And it was solving so many of the equations that the other teachers, they weren't solving. They were treating symptoms, but the symptoms were not the real symptoms. Or rather, the problem was just a symptom of a deeper problem. So the problems of your socializing, of your relationships, of how people treat you, that problem is just a symptom of a deeper problem that spawns from your character. And what is character? I mean, it's a set of beliefs and how you act them out that gets perceived as your persona, and people will characterize in, a certain ways. It's a character. It's the role that you're acting with in the world. And you're not aware of how many subtleties you're communicating. You may only be measuring certain moments that define your character. And it's true, the character is really defined in certain key moments, but you're missing a lot of moments because it's like if you were seeing an actor on stage and they were acting like, I don't know, James Bond or something, and then they break character once, they just like say something ridiculous, like, I don't know, they're a hippie or they're really from the inner city and they kind of have ebonics or something, and it's just like James Bond, man, and it's just like one sound bite. It only has to be one or two or three words, and the audience completely broke reality. It just broke their reality. It was like, what the fuck was that? Like, I have Tourette's. Why that guy just he went from an English speaking James Bond to like something that he's not, like a white rapper or something. And so your character, you may be thinking you have these moments that define your character, but you have so many moments that are breaking your character, incongruency, if you even have high status moments, high value moments. A lot of guys don't even have those. But some guys, they have qualities that are high value in certain areas. Those are the best students, really. If you have something going for yourself that you're good at something, or you're respected in some area or field, you may suck at social dynamics, but you have something, you have real value to the world. So you leverage that and learn how to portray that artistically, aesthetically, how to conversate about it, how to tell people about it without being try hard or needy or anything like that. Like how to talk about your life, basically. But you got to have a life. And that's not what they said. It's not what they told you. Like have a life like you go out drinking on the weekends. Like have a life means you exchange value with the world and you're integral in the world. You're integrated in some way. In some way. That's essential. People rely on it. And you have a life that people depend on. So if you left life, if you exited, checked out, somebody would feel the miss. So that's this game is leveraging that real value. Those are the best students that have real value, and then you just learn how to portray it and how to play with that. And the cornering yourself, it's a daily activity, a daily action. It's part of what we do in our morning routine. We have a certain morning routine. And really all throughout the day, we're doing state management, state of mind management. Like not controlling, but like being aware of and changing your decisions, how you're talking to yourself and what you're doing or whatever, so that your state of mind elevates, so that you are in control, you're an influence of your state of mind. And that's what a gift. Got people are not in control of their state of mind. And they're just not even aware that they're not in control of their state of mind. So much of the free streams are just making people aware of their state of mind, constantly elevating them with analogies and metaphors and wisdom and whatever, and then pointing out that uh that their state of mind was lacking or this and that. And it's like they get the contrast over time. You start to see, oh, my state of mind can really elevate from where it is. Oh, and I was in a shitty condition. And the more you separate from that shitty condition, because you go right back into it, but you separate a little bit, get some breathing room, identify it for what it is, notice that you elevated, okay, and then you go back into it. Come back to another free stream. Elevate, point it out, okay. Come back to a later free stream. Eventually, you start to just become disappointed that you keep dropping your state of mind. Why can't you just keep your state of mind elevated? Well, you're a fish in the ocean, my friend. You're around a bunch of people and how they talk to you, and it kind of fixes you at a certain place in the matrix for your state of mind. You're allowing yourself to be influenced. You're not a sovereign of your mind. And as soon as you become a sovereign of your mind and you start to shift around, there's a lot of resistance from all the communication lines you have with people. They, even if they don't want to resist, their autopilot response, their auto response is like to resist your change. And then many of them are actually suppressive and don't want you to get better. But some of them do, and they just don't know how to communicate. So you're immediately met with resistance when you take ownership of your mind and you're like, the outside opinions, nah, I don't need those. And then they panic and they try to force feed you their opinions. So you got to overcome that. And then you're a lone wolf at best. and that's a lonely existence. You'll become secretive, that your power will never be expressed fully. And then your ethics will never be expressed fully. Because you got to be in risky or high I don't, the word escapes me, but situations where a lot's riding on the situation. High pressure, but that's maybe not the right word, but when you have a lot high stakes decisions, then your ethics has to come up because one mistake and shit, money's lost or people get hurt or whatever. And so with power comes responsibility. With responsibility comes power. And if you're a lone wolf, just breaking free of the pack, breaking free of the herd, not the pack, breaking free of the herd, really the pack. I mean, but you may not have access to a pack, hence IMC Nation. We are a pack, but that doesn't mean we're open to everybody. We're open for you to start. You start with free stuff, start on Instagram, YouTube, come to free classes, free Zooms or whatever. And then, you move on from there. Like you pay your dues, money, time, energy affecting your life. You speak out this philosophy in your life. Like I said, you get resistance. You got to stand up to that. Then you earn your stripes in IMC Nation. Not because you necessarily go through something that you report on and we're like, oh, you got his stripes. We'll just know, and you'll know. That's more important. You'll know, and the people around you will know that you've taken ownership of your mind and opinions, and they can't affect you the way that they want. They can influence you to talk with me. You can change my opinion, but I'm no longer under your control because I have discerned, I've distinguished my mind from your mind, and you have your opinions, and I don't have to have your opinions. And if you keep trying to force them on me, then I see how communist you are. You're a Nazi. I'm not. So, and then that just evolves and develops and grows. You get better and better at discerning your state of mind. State of mind really is everything in this game. That's going to affect your awareness. Drop your state of mind and you see less, you notice less, you're less aware. Raise your state of mind and you're more aware or more open to learning. And when you learn what to be aware of, you start to become more aware of it. If you study art, you start to see more in the art. You study architecture, you see architecture. You study anything. Study physics, you see physics everywhere. Study wrestling, you see or yoga, you see posture everywhere. So it's like what you study, you become more aware of. But state of mind affects how well you study, how much you retain. I know this for a fact. So, okay, you guys got this. I think you got the gist. Cornering yourself, being ambitious, forward-looking, forward-thinking, and, that sense of urgency. And how do you do that? I mean, that takes discipline. You got to be inspired and motivated by something to make you work for it. So that's why we talk about all the relationships and the beautiful women and the girls we get to talk to and the lifestyle here and freedom of expression. We talk about these things that I'm supposed to make you feel bad. You're supposed to feel bad if you want it. You won't feel bad if you don't want it. But if you want it, then feel bad. You should feel bad about not having what you want. Let it motivate you. It doesn't have to debilitate you and paralyze you and you become all negative in your speech or whatever, but it shouldn't feel good that you don't have what you want. There's something that is compelling you to go for it, Okay? So be inspired by our lifestyle here, and I'll see you guys on the streams that come up. The link should be in the bio in these accounts to sign up for the free streams that we do every morning right now, the podcast. It may only go for a month, 2 months, 6 months, 6 years. I don't know, but it's every day right now. So it's a free mindset, 30 to 40 minutes each morning at the same time consistently, that you will change your destiny. If you feed yourself proper mindset consistently at a consistent time, bro, I mean, we're giving you the recipe for free to elevate yourself out of your condition. You just got to click the link in the bio. Os, J Guru Dev, everybody. Praise the Lord, be the best, and fuck the rest.